Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, kids, and welcome back. It's the season finale of Daredevil Born Again, and also the last episode of this show, so. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is the true devils of Hell's Kitchen.
No, that's Fizz. That's a little Hellfire.
That's right, kids. I don't know if you saw the description on Disney Plus, but it was like Mayor Fisk becomes Mayor Kingpin.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, for those of you who were worried that Disney was gonna tone down the violence, I don't think you have to worry about that. Not this episode.
It took them long to get to it.
Well, it took them long enough to get to a lot of stuff. I'm just like, you know what? We could have been so much further along had we done this. I don't know, by the 4th episode, maybe.
No, I mean it's a good finale. It sets up for season 2, but we didn't need to spin our wheels this whole time.
I mean, it's a cliffhanger, but it's, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, again, we could have did the Foggy's Alive thing, or, I don't know, we were not caring.
That's happened, unfortunately.
I guess not. But I mean, we brought Karen back, we could have did something with Karen, something more, and Frank, we get Frank back, and I guess we see where he's gonna be when that Punisher
he got caught. That's so stupid.
Well, Frank's not always the brightest guy, though.
I mean, but that's even stupid. That's stupid for Scorpion or Shocker.
Well, again, are we setting up?
His little special.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I guess it's gonna be a prison break, maybe him and the Swordsman or something.
Well, he ain't Worth Miller.
Who is?
Sadly.
I just saw your little line nightgown, man. You gonna do with your ass hanging out?
Call the girl like, please.
Oh, God.
Just lower the camera and nobody gets hurt.
Oh, wow. And again, I mean,
I never said it had to be female nudity.
Oh, jeez. Of course you did. But I mean, I don't know. I get where Daredevil's coming from, the whole Catholic thing and everything. But I'm just like, Frank Meta had a point. And it's like, had you not jumped in front of that bullet, we wouldn't be here.
And they didn't even give him the courtesy. They're like, go snuff him out in the hospital. Thank you.
I know. Not even 2 seconds of Fisk being conflicted about, oh, hey, this guy saved my life. Nope.
Well, he knows he's going to go after his wife.
That's true.
And then he puts Heather in the administration.
Oh, yeah. Is that a message to Matt, or?
I think she's pissed. First name says Karen.
Oh, yeah. Again, before the whole administration thing, I was like, is she just going to walk out and we're just going to be like, oh, no, I'm done with you?
Well, she was done with him.
She
thinks he's mentally ill, but she's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, or again, you could say maybe this is a man of deep conviction, because again, he thinks Fisk is dangerous, he hates Fisk, but he still threw himself in front of a bullet for the man.
Mentally
ill. Mentally ill. Aren't they all?
Exactly.
It's in the water.
Yeah. Especially martial law. Okay, it's getting way too close to home with the Trump parallel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's making me physically uncomfortable.
I know, just especially when you see people in cages, and it's just...
Yeah.
And Karen talking to Matt when he went to storm, it's like, oh, yeah, we're all feeling it. It's like, oh, yeah, we are, sister.
Yeah, I think that's going to taint the rewatch. It's not going to hold up 2-0. Fisk can fix it.
Tight.
Magic word. Yeah, so.
Martial law. It's just the whole thing.
I'm like, I've never been to New York City, but I'm like, an 8 p.m. curfew for the entire city. I'm like, is that really going to work?
I think it works for COVID, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? Did they do that?
I think so.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be out Marvel's New York after dark.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
They just killed that kid that was a white kid? Oh, they're done. No, he's a mass vigilante.
I know. Oh, God. And again, it's like, jumping to the end, when Matt talking about building an army, I was like, okay, vigilantes have been out.
White Tiger knees check. I feel like
Luke Cage,
maybe Jessica Jones is going to come.
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, not you, Iron Fist. But no, we didn't get that. He was standing in a room full of cops. Well, the only...
I thought that's just the beginning.
Hopefully. I'm just like...
But he needs an army, and it's got to be more than like basic bitch cop.
Yeah. And I'm like, all vigilante activity's been outlawed, so Spider-Man's not going to have a say in this. I was going to say, are there any Avengers left?
He might be flipping around in space right now.
I don't think so.
They're going to have to say something.
And it's like, I don't know, like anyone who's an Avenger or was an Avenger, I'm like...
I think they're flipping around in space right now.
Didn't they have, they work with through S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't know, government's clear?
Everything's actually... Isn't everything a mess right now?
Oh, yeah, everything's a mess.
So
there are no Avengers, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, God, the only ones who are cleared are the Thunderbolts. Oh, God.
we might get both Hawkeyes, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Since we kind of have a tie to Echo and all that.
Yeah.
Gotta bring back Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Greg Wright. Mr. Greg Wright.
Hey. I guess the technical difficulties work.
I was doing all kinds of things in this room during the weekend, and I think I probably pulled out a bunch of stuff. I just had to restart it, pull everything out, plug it back in, restart it, which is why we started late.
Am I echoing?
Don't think.
I'm echoing at my end. Wait, now. Yeah.
All right. No, I think you're fine. But yeah, we were just talking about the episode and the cliffhanger we got.
Ramification.
Yes, all vigilantes are outlawed and curfews and all that fun stuff.
How is the perfect time in the MCU to do it, actually? That's all we have for the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm going to leave and come back because everybody's going to do.
Okay. I sound fine to you, correct?
Yeah, what about me?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, no, you're good. Nice, loud and clear. But, yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. Although maybe this was part of a... when we were doing 18 episodes for the season, this was going to be the halfway mark.
Well, clearly.
How do we sound, Greg?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Lilith is echoing. I saw my. As long as it's not good, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, no, I don't hear it. She's nice and clear for me. So
this was one of the wow episodes. I wasn't here for you guys last time, but it was a big shock. Vanessa with Matt put in front of me. So this was another one. But I think we finally got what we've been wanting this Punisher to do forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wish we would have got it sooner. But yeah.
Well, it's not his show.
Well, yeah, that's what after this episode, Punisher is getting a one shot, so I'm assuming it's a prison break. So
I don't know because I don't know where he's gonna end up. It's like I'm guessing he's going to escape.
Well, yeah, you would think, yeah.
So we'll see. It's like it's cool. I'm not sure where this is going to go. It's like when he says an army, I was thinking, are they going to bring in some of the other characters we've been hoping to see from the Netflix series? Are we going to get to see Jessica Jones and Luke Cage? And
that's what I was hoping. At the end of this episode, he just walks into a room full of I guess the only clean cops in New York. But so I was hoping for like a Jessica Jones or Luke Cage.
Yeah, I really don't know where it's going because he, I'm not sure how he was able to fight all that with after just being shot. But
that Catholic guilt.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to go in to the docks and stuff, and Karen kind of backed him down. So
she actually talked sense into him. It was kind of crazy.
Right now.
Well, that's what she does. she's able. But it's funny because she had that other relationship with the Punisher on his show, so it's kind of fun that she called him to come help.
Yeah. That's like, I noticed those heartbeats. What's that about?
Yeah, that was a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now he doesn't have he no longer has an apartment.
Well, I mean,
it was too nice for him anyway. I knew that thing was going to be gone by the end of the season.
Was that a big explosive Easter egg? I mean, the Kingpin did do that in the Born Again comics, so blew up his house. So,
that Kingpin scene when he gets the guy.
The commissioner when he rips his head.
I was like, "Where's the car door?" Oh, he's gonna do it with his bare hands. Okay.
Like, oh my God! It was much more vicious and vile than I thought. But it's like that is Kingpin.
Yeah. People were worried that Disney was going to water this thing down. I mean, you saw more of it in that scene than, in the Netflix when he uses the car door. All you hear is squish, squish, crunch, crunch.
You really just saw the whole gory thing. And even with the Punisher, and when he's going out,
headshots.
Blood is flying and you could hear the gushes and
stabbing the guy. Yeah.
Matt, stop, Frank, stop. He's like, "Rah!" Like, holy cow. I mean, we all knew that he was hating the Punisher wannabe cops, and he was going to take them out.
I was waiting for like the moral of the story is, you're nothing like me. Take my symbol off. Like, I thought we were going to go there.
Well, maybe we will, because he killed so many of them. It's like, wow, how many of these guys did he have on this task force?
A lot of dirty cops in Marvel's New York.
So, who is the Buck guy? Somebody that we know?
That's Bullet from Ann's run. Yeah.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen him do anything yet.
Yeah, no. I don't know if they're just using his name because that was his name. Buck, whatever. Yeah.
But he's not big enough.
I know.
John Romita Jr. and his gigantic people that are not possible. But it's nice to see the Kingpin finally behaving like, Miller's Kingpin. Who he was just vicious. Oh, and there goes Phil.
Yeah, he'll be right back. Yeah, I like that. I like that Vanessa has such a proactive role now. Like, she's not just this passive little victim and they're just in it together. Well, I really kind of enjoy that relationship.
She's clearly more in charge of this criminal element than he is at this point, which is pretty surprising. Because I'm trying to figure out who was Bullseye trying to kill him, or was he trying to kill her?
I'd take it as both. Like, he's got beef with both of them.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like he's got
but
the
at the
beef
specific time, I think it was Vanessa.
But he's got like the beef with Kingpin, and she kind of, it's like, I don't know. Maybe she told him maybe she hired him to also kill Kingpin.
Ooh, maybe that's the dirty little secret.
Maybe, but he's out and about. Maybe he'll be joining Daredevil's little army.
I definitely think so. I think kind of like they were doing that montage, so I think so.
You okay there, Phil? Yeah, Phil's Messenger wasn't working on Safari for some reason, but it was working fine on my phone and on Chrome. That's very strange.
What's that? Not really. Just a joke.
So, do we know when season 2 is going to come out?
Sometime mid next year.
Oh, really? We got to wait? Because I'm sure it's finished.
Well, no, they just started filming, refilming.
Oh, right. It's
not even in post-production yet, so they'll be done filming at the end of July.
Wow.
So yeah, that tracks for post-production and to get the marketing cycle going.
I wonder why they just didn't shoot them back to back.
Well, they kind of did, and then they had to retool. So.
Oh, maybe that's probably true because once they got it down, but most of the people.
And then a couple of the strikes, so it's like a lot of delays.
I really like the show, because there's a couple people that are from the comic world that they're like, oh, I don't know. Most people seem to really, really like it and think it's one of the best things Disney's ever done, Plus has ever done. At least with the Marvel.
I mean, outside of the Mandalorian and Andor, yeah, I'll give them that.
Right. I think
for the Marvel stuff, yeah.
With the Marvel stuff,
I like Vanessa in red. I like that she's not in the shadows anymore. Like I like a lot of the costuming choices.
Yeah,
they weren't really subtle with it, and I like that. I usually like when the costuming is subtle, but the bold choice for Vanessa, finally, as she's revealed, is like more than just like, the wife. I like it.
Well, when I took a screenwriting class at one point, and one of the things that we did was we watched the movie Casablanca.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And one of the other things that we were talking about, aside from the screenplay, was how every part of the movie was designed to help tell the story. And one of the things that they talked about was the outfits that they wear. And if you watch it, at one point, their colors get darker, they get lighter. And at one point they're dressing literally the same, Ilsa and Rick. And so I always think that's, when you can use the art direction and the clothing as another storytelling device, I think that's really good. And I think they've done a lot of that here. I don't necessarily I have to go back and kind of look to see, well, what did they do with, with Karen? Did she have different kind of clothes? Because Vanessa was pretty obvious, but I thought that was great.
I love the white suit on the bad guy. I just love that.
Well, it's funny. It's like, you would think you would have got a lot more blood on the white suit when he crushed.
He's had a lot of practice.
That head. Well, but now he looks like it's just much more like the comic.
That was funny. He pulls out the handkerchief, just starts like wiping his.
Or he wipes his face and his mouth, not his hand.
He's gonna go eat after that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, he gets hungry when he does that.
Yeah, I would assume crushing a man's skull works up an appetite.
What did they do with the body? I mean, he just said, "Well,
he just left it there. I guess somebody's gonna clean it up for him."
But he quit.
Well, in a way, quit life.
So the Freeport thing was a pretty interesting choice.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of a MacGuffin for me, but, it is what it is.
The whole motive behind
it's a lawless place, man.
Yeah.
What was the Freeport thing?
So Freeport is like basically a place free of jurisdiction from anywhere. So like not the state, not the city, not even like at the federal level of the government. It's just this free for all.
So Vanessa was using it to launder money. Yeah.
Tax, you got to pay your taxes. No, she doesn't.
So Foggy found out. So yeah, Foggy had to die.
Well, he didn't find out. He was like, "Oh, it's a Freeport." He didn't commit any crime because you can't commit crime here.
Yeah, but he was looking into it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I guess next season since he's supposed to be back, maybe we'll find out what how he found out and what he found out.
Well, it seems like he just pulled up an old charter, and sometimes you see these ridiculous laws on the books and stuff. Like in Mississippi, they hadn't ratified like slavery until like 2014 or something crazy like that. Like things like that, they do slip through the cracks. So, he's a lawyer. Lawyers love to find like cracks in the law, right? That's what they do.
But yeah, they did say, I think the actor's supposed to be back for season 2. So maybe they're going to do flashbacks to show.
Maybe he's alive. I think that would kind of take away from it at this point now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt would know.
Well, unless they moved them across the country or something.
No, maybe he'll come back as the head in the jar. That would be.
I just think if he was alive, I think that would have been the cliffhanger, the season finale.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, but did everyone watch the was it mid credit or whatever scene?
Yeah.
Frank. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was pretty. Again,
what an idiot of a guard.
He's just brutal. And that's the whole thing with the Punisher, and that's why he's not terribly worried about getting hurt or dying. He's going to take care of business, and he's going to take care of it in the most brutal way possible. He's not really a character you should like, and it's really hard not to like him in here because John Bernthal is so good.
Oh yeah,
but he's a vicious killer.
He there's no downside for Frank Castle. It's like if he's good at his job, he kills a bunch of evil people. If he dies, he gets to see his family again. That's it. I'm sure that's his point of view. So, of course, he's not afraid.
Well, that was the whole thing. When I wrote him a few times. I was thinking it's like he's just simply not afraid to die.
No.
And that if you're afraid to die, you're going to lose if you go up against the Punisher. You will hesitate.
if you're a normal person afraid to die, yes, you're gonna lose.
Well, I mean, as a normal person, I would run as fast as I possibly could from him. Like, nope, that's not going to happen. It's like anything. It's like I'm always amazed in movies where one guy gets in there to fight him. They're stand around. They watch somebody just kick the living crap out of one guy, and then the next guy says, "Okay, I'll step up. I can take him." That's maybe if all of you did it at once, maybe. But like one at a time, I got news. It's like if you see somebody kick somebody's ass, they're just going to kick your ass. What are you doing? I mean, and even, 2 or 3 guys can't take Castle. It took. I mean, how many guys did it take to actually drag him in?
I did did he call? Was it Matt's Billy Club? He called it Inspector Gadget bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get a real weapon.
But yeah, I guess him and Karen have been talking, I guess. I don't know.
Talking? Is that what the kids call it now?
Well, I mean, she's been on the West Coast, so supposedly, she hasn't seen him. But her heartbeat went up for both of them, so.
It was adrenaline!
Sure. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes. But yeah, like Greg, I was telling Lilith, I'm like, I thought maybe there'd be like a split second at least hesitation on Kingpin's part about killing Matt because he did throw himself in front of that bullet. But he's like, nah, kill him.
Puppets got to serve their purposes, man.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was great because that's you think, oh, maybe it's like, wow, no, it's like he's going to use that to justify it.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I know.
True bad in this episode.
It went by really fast, even though it was like an hour. I was just like, oh. Well,
it was like the last episode. They were just so good.
Stuff was moving, yeah.
Yeah.
There was no wasted scene of anything. It just moved along at a really great clip. It's like it'll be interesting to go back and rewatch, the entire thing, like to just binge it and see. What did I miss the first go around that you now know because you've seen the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always kind of interesting to go back and once you know stuff, go back and rewatch. Any movie that's got complicated stuff or any series. I got a lot more out of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier the second time I watched it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes that's funny because like you used to see if did they telegraph something about something that was, did they foreshadow it or something, or stuff just happen.
Yeah, well, because sometimes when we're writing our comics, we plan stuff that we're going to use, and sometimes we're writing another story, and you went, hey, I could connect this to this thing that I came up with back then. Then it'll seem like I planted it there all along. And I could never get away with, when somebody would ask me, hey, did you plan this? If I start saying, yeah, I planned that, they just know I'm full of shit really fast. So I would have to just admit, no, actually, I planted it so to use it at some point, but I didn't plan that.
Mm.
And sometimes you get lucky because, artists, will, draw up stuff in the story that wasn't really part of what you wrote. And then you'll be able to utilize that later. It's like I had created a throwaway group of heroes on the West Coast when one of these characters was called Light Bright, which that was a temporary name, but I couldn't think of anything any better, and I just left it as Light Bright. And I didn't really give any thought to the character; she was just a thing. And Stephen Butler had done a really nice job designing her, so I had to create a character for her because I said, gee, we should use her because the costume he drew was so great. And then there's like a groups of people that, are like obsessed with this Light Bright character. It's a tiny group, but still I was like, what? This is a character that you're, and it just kind of came through, accidentally. So you never know what's going to happen. It's like, you never know what one of the actors just did a throwaway line and suddenly it's the big part of the story.
All right. And my other question, I was just like, okay, so Kingpin made, Heather's on the
in the administration now. Does he actually like her, or is that human shield? It's just like, no, you come for me, Daredevil. She's close by.
I don't know. That was what I was surprised. I mean, I was surprised that she said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is she really seeing an opportunity here, or does she know that if she said no, that's going to go even worse? But I'm guessing he wants to keep her close because she's got he now knows she's got a relationship with Matt, which maybe he knew that all along, and he can use her to get at him. I guess. I mean, he's always he doesn't do anything without there being a purpose behind it. He's always planning something terrible.
So, what else do we get?
I like the scene where Punisher pulling up the Rambo thing where he's stitching himself up.
I know Karen's like stitching up Matt, and Frank's just like over there stitching himself up.
Nothing a good cup of coffee can't fix.
Well, funny. One of the first comics that I ever read was a Neil Adams comic, and in it, Batman, he had gotten all banged up and beat up, and then he stitches himself up and he does yoga afterwards. And it's a goofy scene, but it's like I still remember that scene. And every time I see somebody stitch themselves up and whatnot, I think of that that scene that Neil Adams drew. Kind of funny. I don't know, but Frank Castle. It's like I'm sure he's stitched himself up, many times. At least his Kevlar seems to work pretty good because he got shot numerous times.
Real good, actually.
Pretty
close range, actually.
I mean, if you're in the Frank Castle business, you need like the best bulletproof armor and vest, whatever.
It's like some Reed Richard level Kevlar there.
Well, because he doesn't have micro, at least anymore. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they killed off that character or not in the Punisher series.
But also, at the end of the day, he has no head protection, so it's just like.
Why aren't you shooting him in the head? That's why it's like go for a headshot. I guess they didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
Well, and again, too. You mean when they caught him later? Because
they could have taken him out.
Yeah. Maybe Fisk didn't want him taken out. Maybe, or either Fisk or like those cops. Maybe they thought they could turn him. Because I think the cops at least thought they were like, "Hey, you can keep doing your job. Just do it with us."
Yeah.
Well, I think Fisk wanted him in his little zoo.
Yeah.
The swordsman's there, so maybe those two have a little buddy cop breakout.
Maybe that's the Daredevil. The Punisher one shot they got coming. Yeah.
They made an effort to let you know swordsman is there.
Mm-hmm. Saw him in the cage.
No sword in the cage, but he's not going to wear a costume.
Well, at least not for the prison break, but I was going to say, they couldn't really shoot him in the apartment because there's billy clubs flying all over the place and Frank stabbing guys and shooting guys. At first, when Matt knocked that guy out with the billy club, I was like, "Wait, did he break his neck or something?" But no,
it's like, no, we can't kill him, but let's beat him to within an inch of their life anyway.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I mean, if you're American, just put me out of my misery. I don't want to deal with the medical debt.
I'm sure the mayor.
I'm sure he didn't care about the pension or anything for those cops. They didn't hear that part of it, but
I don't know.
He's not giving OT. He's definitely giving really crappy dental and vision.
Like if you killed Daredevil and maybe the Punisher, I'm sure Fisk could probably pay your medical bill.
Maybe. But with the parallels to Trump, Trump loves the stiff people. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I wouldn't take my chances is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But no, man, D'Onofrio, especially this episode, really.
He wants to play Swamp Thing, and now I want him to play Swamp Thing.
I did see that.
Why would you want to play Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing is a super interesting character. And it fits his, weird, quirky, character thing that he has.
That's true. Ever since, Men in Black, where he played that bug.
He's had a lot of weird characters.
Maybe, I guess he likes the challenge. But the other thing I did see is I guess he made some kind of statement like his character, the Kingpin can't appear in the Marvel movies, just in the TV shows.
Yeah, I don't know what that seems strange. But then again, Marvel sold the rights to their characters, the Universal Studios, for Islands of Adventure down in Florida. But which meant that they can't have the Marvel characters that are licensed to them over at Disney World, but they can do it in Disneyland. It's very strange how the certain legalities with certain characters.
Yeah, like I think that's the other thing. Like I think it was with the Hulk, he can't have his own solo movie, but he can show up. Yeah. He could show up in other people's movies, or the part of the Avengers or something.
Yeah, I don't quite know how it works like that. But like when Dwayne McDuffie and I were doing Deathlock, we were forbidden from using any of the original Deathlock material or characters because they had a legal battle going on with Rich Buckler over the rights. And we were allowed to do all kinds of stuff that hinted at stuff, but we couldn't use it until it was after Dwayne had left the book. They finally said, "Oh, you can use all this stuff now," which is when I brought the original Deathlock into the book. But I don't really know what the legal problem was, but they didn't want to use it and give them any fuel.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm guessing. Maybe Kingpin's character is more part of the Spider-Verse.
Maybe. I mean, he did start out as like a Spider-Man villain, and he has fought the Punisher. But I mean, I'd say at least since Frank Miller, I mean, Kingpin's a
synonymous.
Right, that's the thing, But he started out as a Spider-Man villain, and again created by John Romita Sr.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a good character because he's always been a good visual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but when Kingpin starts like doing these things, like ripping a guy's head in half, I'm like, you can't tell me this guy's not like a mutant or something, or he's not, taking something.
No. People can do it. People can do it.
Someone check Lil's backyard. All right.
No, it is humanly possible to do that.
I mean, I guess I could see ripping the jaw off, but
I don't know. That was pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but in Game of Thrones, the guy just grabbed Pedro Pascal's head and just crushed it like a little melon. That was a surprising and horrifying.
In the chat for the mountain.
That was just horrifying. I could just the sound of it.
Mm-hmm. One thing you got to say, Kingpin, you really don't see Kingpin using a gun or anything, and they're either in the comics or here. It's just he's very
in the fisticuffs. That's his thing.
Very hands-on, yeah.
Well, he did, or did he give the sledgehammer or the axe to the guy in the prison cell?
Oh yeah, was it an axe? Yeah,
it was an axe.
Fire axe. Yeah.
Vanessa wound up killing him. So Vanessa is the more vicious one, I think.
Oh yeah, because she's more subtle about it. I mean, Kingpin, how he feels, and he's gonna. Yeah, Vanessa will stab you in the back. Yeah.
I just think somehow by the end she's going to be the one that betrays him, and that's the end of him, or at least for that particular.
Oh no, I think that's a match made in hell. I think that's real love. I think that's real love, and they're in it for the long haul. They're a power couple. I don't think one can exist without the other.
I don't know, but can you imagine how unhinged he would get if she did die? Well,
we all know how unhinged she if she dies. I don't know if that's the route they're going to take though for this specific thing. Maybe maybe good old Bullseye kills her after all.
Oh yeah, did he get caught or did he escape?
He's still on the loose. He
escaped.
So there's a wild card out there for season 2.
Oh, they're definitely joining up for some shenanigans. I feel that in my bones.
What, him and the Kingpin?
No, him and Matt.
Oh yeah.
He's got he wants nothing to do with
I was gonna say
Mr. or Lady.
He tried to shoot the Kingpin. I mean, Kingpin ain't working with him.
He's the reason that all of freaking New York's in chaos. I'm surprised that people aren't looking for him.
And then that flashback in the beginning. So was Heather responsible for was she working with Bullseye? I mean, not work, but as like a therapist to try to I don't know, work on his issues, or it almost sounded like they were working on an appeal or something, right?
I thought
maybe just because he wasn't in his right mind, like a mental defense or something.
Yeah.
No, that was Muse that came to her.
Yeah, but no, the beginning of this episode, there was a flashback where she was talking to him in prison or something.
don't recall. I was.
Yeah, it was like a quick flashback, but it's like right before the credits.
Maybe she's the one they call. Like, you know, like maybe that's their Ravencroft. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, for the criminally demented. So maybe it's good Matt's dating her, and you know, Fisk was going to see her, or maybe that's why Kingpin and put her in the administration so that they don't have to go to her. Him and Vanessa can have their like little sessions like in the mayor's office and stuff.
They're not having any more sessions. There's no pretense there. I
don't think I don't think they're gonna have a threesome.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, that wasn't what you were talking about.
No.
Somebody checks Greg's hard drive. It might be as saucy as mine.
Okay, Greg, what did you think? Because me and Lilith were talking about this last time. Like you know, we saw Vanessa send Luca send him to kill Fisk, and then Fisk kills him, and I don't know. Then the next episode, it seemed like she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew." You know, she sent Luca to get killed, but I was like, "Really?" Or did she really send him to kill him? And then,
I mean, if he did, he did. If he didn't, he didn't. You know what I mean? Hedging your bets.
I think, I kind of think that's what she's
either way, yeah,
doing. But you know, again, they've kept it very close. She hasn't admitted to anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, she's a user. She will, you know, everybody is just there to manipulate to get what she wants. And if she needs to get rid of them, she'll just get rid of them. She's much more ruthless than you think. You know, she dispatched her lover like nothing.
Oh yeah, because you know she got caught. Yeah, that's the flashback we need. Like get into her past, because I don't know if we really know much about her before. You know, we saw season 1 before she was the art dealer. Yeah.
Well, no tea, no shade. Most art dealers are kind of shady in one way or another.
Oh my.
I mean, if you know anything about art, it's the best way to really actually launder money when you think about it.
Well, maybe that's
why NFTs took off the way they did. I'm just saying there's something to it.
I mean, you could say from day one she's been laundering money, and you know she had something going on. Oh, whoa! That was the big revelation, that she never loved him, but she just basically got with him to, try to advance her.
But let's be real, she's a female character. We're not gonna get any backstory.
Wow, you never know.
I don't know, man. I mean, after some of the episodes we got this season, not anything's up for grabs.
I know. I don't think this was like my favorite episode of the season, though. I think that's probably going to be the penultimate episode. This one is like it's like top 3. I like the first episode, and then I think the last episode comes after that.
The last week's episode, I think, had more shocking moments than this.
Yeah, I did not expect her to like shoot her lover. I didn't expect
Matt to not throw himself in front of that bullet.
Or just even be there, really. There was just a lot of stuff I didn't expect to happen, and that was good. That's what I like when I don't know what's going to happen.
That's the encounter I want to see, is when Matt finally gets face to face with Vanessa again, and be like, because she's actually the one who put, Bullseye in motion to kill Augie. Yeah.
I don't know that Matt has it in him, though. I don't.
I mean, he's not going to kill her, but he's going to, he's going to threaten her, be like, I'm going to bring you in, and no matter what, he's going to cut in again.
He had the suit on this time. That's all I can say. That was good.
Well, yeah.
Outside of the nightgown, I think he was in the suit like 95% of the time.
And they didn't gratuitously show his backside when he walked. Even though Frank had said, you're going to do it.
Your ass hanging out, yeah.
Like, well, I'm actually surprised they didn't do a shot of that.
It's a misstep.
It's like, well, it's okay to crush a guy's skull and rip his jaw off, but, no Matt butt for the ladies. Or
they're showing a butt like every human being has. But, yeah, we could show a guy getting his head ripped in half, and people getting stabbed and shot.
Those headshots, we got a few of, like, the spurty spurts, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly Disney let them just make this series the way they needed to make it.
Mm. And I guess it's the point of the character, but that little what's his face? Now that he's rising in the Kingpin's administration, he's really getting on my nerves.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's really
damn Gen Z.
grading.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's the hot shit now. That yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like sitting in the boss's chair, and I'm like, he is gonna be. That is LaGuardia's desk, sir.
I was gonna say, don't let him catch you sitting in that chair.
That's got to be his secret kid. I don't know. That's the only thing I have. That's the only thing that I have. Poor Sheila. She's never getting out of there alive.
Or what if they do a twist? What if that's Vanessa's secret kid or something?
No, he wouldn't abide. Nah, I don't think so.
Or he doesn't know it's her kid. And then BB, I hope we get more with BB next season because we really didn't do much with her.
She might get thrown off.
Well,
she might take a long walk off a short pier.
Because I thought they were going to use her in a major way, like they used. Ben Urich was used in the comics tremendously. So I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I thought she'd be working, maybe through what's his face, they, trying to take down the administration. Yeah, because when she talked to the commissioner last episode, she's like, he's like, oh, Fisk was the major, the suspect in your uncle's murder. And she's like, yeah, why do you think I do that? Right.
Well, when she figures out what happened, maybe she'll be the one to figure out what happened to the commissioner.
Yeah. Or that what's her face in Fisk's office. I mean, she, So did she record him and give it to him? Okay.
Absolutely.
I was like, they weren't just like bugged or something. Okay.
Survival of the fittest, my friend.
I know, because I was going to say just the shock on her face when, he's like, oh, he retired. And she's like, oh.
Yeah, from life.
Yeah, huh?
Well, did she record and then give it to Kingpin, or did the Kingpin have something else bugged and she doesn't know where that came from?
That's what I was wondering, but then why was she in the hall? I mean, I'm thinking she gave him the recording because she was like standing in the hall looking all upset. So
yeah,
could be.
I mean, that's on her.
Yeah, they do love their ambiguity, which I appreciate. You don't have to hold my hand. It's fine.
I like not knowing what's happening, so that makes me want to watch more.
Rewatchability.
Exactly.
And I wonder if we're going to get into who else is in those cages, in the prison with Punisher and Swordsman. If there's any other major players are gonna, or just if they're gonna get into that.
Probably not Ant-Man.
What?
He could shrink down and leave.
When I saw Swordsman, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he was he locking up some of the rich people?
Maybe he's shaking them down for money.
That's what I'm thinking. Or if the rich people weren't going along, he just locked them up. Because again, he did have his little Godfather meetings with everybody at the party last episode. I mean, at least Swordsman's there because he was a vigilante, I guess.
A little bit of both, I think. A Venn diagram, if you will. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with how the season turned out. It was real shaky for a while. I was like, I don't know about this season, guys.
Well, that's the one problem the Disney Marvel series have a lot of times is they just start too slow, and I think they wind up losing a good bit of the audience because they didn't get into it quick enough.
Yeah, the pacing, it's just it was all over the place. And again, was it just because they had the rewrite? Because again, this was going to be originally an 18 episode first season.
I couldn't imagine this is an 18 episode season. I can't imagine anything being over 13 episodes now, unfortunately.
Well, TV shows used to be 22, 24 episodes per season.
Mm-hmm. You have to crank them things out.
Hollywood is dying. So
I was going to say, they don't want to spend the money for 22 and got to pay
residuals, yada yada yada.
You got to pay people more money.
Yeah, so it's an adjustment, but they pulled it, they turned it around.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to read the original scripts before they retinkered with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're floating out there somewhere.
If not now, soon, I'm sure.
I would just love to know what the original, the actual original plan was without network executive speak, I guess. It's so hard to read between those lines at times.
I thought one of the earlier takes they said was more lighthearted. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, to the point where Barathol didn't want any part of it. Yeah. I hope that I hope we do get a little bit of Defenders action next season.
Just not Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Now he's all mad. Give me a chance. Like, no, you already suck.
Hit the gym, bud, and talk to us. But yeah, we got a little couple of sneak peeks and good news about season 2. So I feel pretty good about Daredevil on TV while streaming.
I know, that's always so weird. It's just like, is it TV? You call it TV? The TV show?
It's a little bit like so perfect for FX though. Like if this was like made like 6 years ago, this would be so perfect for FX.
Well, we're still calling, whatever a recording is, we're calling them albums. They're not albums anymore.
I mean, they still do make vinyl.
Yeah.
Most things actually technically do still come out on vinyl if you look hard enough. So,
but any song, it's like we're utilizing names for things that don't really apply, which is fine. But
or you're old if you have a recording on your DVR and you say, "Yeah, I taped it."
Oof.
Or if you say, what's tape? It's all those.
Even worse, I have it on Betamax.
Ooh.
Shout out to Sony and their proprietary things.
I have a lot of tapes, and I don't know what to do with them because I don't want to lose the movie. But if you go to play any of the stuff you recorded, and you play it on your TV, it looks horrible.
Mm.
What my kids call two potato. Yeah, watching old YouTube videos. Oh my god, like what is 140p? Oh my gosh, how did we live? Or listening to an MP3 that's 128-bit. You're just like, what the hell? How were we living like this? We were living like animals.
Well, we've gotten a lot more sophisticated with our stuff. Anything less than what we think is perfect is a bad thing.
I think Daredevil was a little too sharp. I think it could have been a little more muddy on the colors and stuff like that. I think that's what kind of threw me. That took me out of the groundedness of Daredevil a little bit. Sometimes, especially in those middle episodes, 2, 3, and 4. But they fixed it and they made the city more alive.
I mean, was that a conscious choice that they made where it's he really wasn't in the suit in those episodes, so it's they kind of made it a little brighter?
Maybe. We did spend at the beginning of the season, we did spend a lot of time in the day, during the day too. I think that definitely was probably a conscious effort. So on that note.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't we cut it there? And again, so when's season 2 coming out? Next year?
Yeah, next year.
Okay.
We'll get that little Punisher one shot in there. I'm assuming it's going to be the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
So they are going to do the Punisher in one shot.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
They confirmed it. And John Bernthal co-wrote it, so I'm really, really interested.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, he's passionate about that character, So when we cover any of that stuff, Greg, you're invited back. If you want to join us,
sure,
you're welcome. Probably have a bigger.
Got Thunderbolts coming up pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
on Free Comic Book Day weekend, it is still a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Free Comic Book Day may not be a thing, but yeah.
No. My guy said it's on. I checked out the places, or at least around me. Everybody's got their books. It's all set to go. They're still in that lawsuit, but yeah, Free Comic Book Day is a thing at least this year. So
where do the comics come from? Do companies send them out to their?
Yeah, they already sent them out. They should already most of your comic book shops. So because they aren't dependent on at least Marvel gets pushed out by Penguin technically, and then DC and Image have Lunar. So everybody else who aren't those three, I guess, are kind of dependent on their distribution network.
All right. So, Mr. Greg Wright, anything you want to promote besides the usual, again, projects you can't talk about.
Projects they can't talk about, and the Graham Nolan's Escape from Monster Island. He has been posting some of the color pages
nice
out there, and there was one that I enjoyed, which was a lava monster coming out of some lava. That was fun.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's all fun stuff, and you can still pre-buy it out on Indiegogo.
Oh, nice. All right. And again, we're going through a little reshuffle over here, but
refresh.
Refresh, yeah. We're going to do legacy numbering and everything. But but again, contact us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737 at 614-38-CAPES. All right. But yeah, keep your eye peeled for our, right here. All right.
All different number one.
Legacy numbering going to be on. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this season of Daredevil Boards again. Probably the next thing we'll hit is the Punisher one shot, and like your Daredevil 2. Again, by then we'll have to take a group talk about this. New York's on lockdown, kids. Punisher on the ground. But again, still finish your thoughts. We can read them somewhere. All right, kids. Remember, it's better to be with the devil you know than the devil you don't. And you think you had a splitting headache?